The United Kingdom, a nation historically known for its role in shaping international law and setting precedents that have influenced global policies for decades, and providing sanctuary to those in need, finds itself at a crossroads. The country has long been a beacon of hope for those fleeing persecution and seeking a better life. Recent changes to its citizenship rules have sparked outrage and ignited a fierce debate about the country's responsibility toward refugees. These changes have not only divided public opinion, but have also led to widespread protests and heated discussions in Parliament. The new legislation has thrown the lives of countless individuals, like 21-year-old Afghan refugee Amir, into disarray. Amir, who fled his war-torn homeland in search of safety, now faces an uncertain future. Amir's case, currently under legal challenge, epitomizes the human cost of these policy shifts and raises profound questions about fairness, compassion, and the very definition of British values. His story is just one of many that highlight the personal struggles and legal battles faced by refugees under the new rules. This essay will delve into the complexities of the UK's evolving stance on citizenship, examining the plight of refugees caught in the crosshairs of a nation grappling with its identity on the world stage. We will explore the historical context, the current political climate, and the human stories that bring these issues to life, shedding light on the broader implications for the future of the United Kingdom and its role in the global community. Amir's story, much like those of countless refugees who arrive on British shores, is one etched with trauma, resilience, and a yearning for safety. At the tender age of 14, as the Taliban tightened its grip on Kabul, Amir's family faced an impossible choice: remain in a country where their lives were in peril or embark on a perilous journey into the unknown. The journey was fraught with danger. Smuggled in the suffocating darkness of a lorry, Amir endured days of fear and uncertainty, his young life crammed into the cramped confines of a metal coffin. The memory of those harrowing days and nights would forever haunt him, a stark reminder of the price of freedom. Upon reaching the UK, Amir, exhausted and traumatized, was met not with hostility, but with the compassion of a nation that understood the plight of those seeking refuge. Granted refugee status and later indefinite leave to remain, he dared to dream of a brighter future. He embraced the opportunity to rebuild his life, excelling in his studies, mastering English, and even pursuing vocational training as a mechanic. He yearned to contribute to the society that had offered him a second chance, to prove himself worthy of the kindness he had been shown. Just as Amir dared to imagine a future as a full-fledged British citizen, the rug was pulled from under his feet. The UK's newly enacted citizenship rules, specifically targeting those arriving through irregular routes, shattered his dreams. Despite having spent his formative years in the UK, contributing to society, and embracing British values, Amir found himself relegated to a legal limbo. The new rules disregarded his current legal status, his contributions, and the years he had spent integrating into British society. The prospect of being denied citizenship, of being forever branded an outsider, filled him with a profound sense of anxiety and vulnerability. Section 5. The Good Character Conundrum, a question of fairness. This section delves into the heart of a contentious issue that has sparked significant debate and concern among legal experts, human rights activists, and the general public alike. At the heart of the new citizenship rules lies the controversial good character requirement. This requirement has become a focal point of discussion as it fundamentally alters the criteria by which individuals are judged worthy of citizenship. The updated guidance suggests that refugees like Amir, who arrived through means deemed irregular, are automatically suspect. This means that individuals fleeing war, persecution, and unimaginable hardships are viewed with suspicion simply because of the way they entered the country. Their moral fiber called into question solely based on their mode of entry. This raises a critical question. Is it fair to judge someone's character based on circumstances often beyond their control? This approach has sparked outrage, with critics arguing that it is discriminatory, unjust, and a betrayal of the UK's commitment to human rights. They contend that the good character requirement unfairly penalises those who have already suffered immensely. How can one reconcile the notion of good character with the desperate measures refugees are often forced to take to escape persecution? The reality of forced migration is complex and multifaceted, often involving life or death decisions. The new guidance fails to acknowledge the complexities of forced migration. It overlooks the fact that many refugees have no choice but to take irregular routes due to the lack of safe and legal alternatives. The lack of safe and legal routes is a significant barrier for those seeking asylum. Many are forced to undertake perilous journeys, risking their lives in the hope of finding safety and security. And the sheer desperation that drives individuals to risk everything for a chance at safety cannot be overstated. These are people who have left behind everything they know and love, driven by the hope of a better future. The question remains, is it fair to judge their character based on the desperate measures they had to take to survive? Section 6. A clash of obligations. UK law versus international commitments. Beyond the moral implications, the new citizenship rules have raised serious legal concerns. Critics argue that they contravene the UK's international obligations, particularly the 1951 UN Refugee Convention. This landmark convention, to which the UK is a signatory, explicitly forbids penalising refugees for their mode of entry, by creating a two-tier system that disadvantages refugees arriving through irregular channels. The UK risks undermining its reputation as a champion of human rights and setting a dangerous precedent for other nations grappling with refugee crises. Section 7. Voices of dissent. Condemnation from refugee groups and MPs. The outcry against the new citizenship rules has been swift and resounding. Refugee groups, human rights organisations, and even members of parliament have voiced their condemnation, denouncing the policy as inhumane, discriminatory, and a betrayal of British values. These voices of dissent argue that the new rules will create further hardship for vulnerable individuals, hinder integration, and foster a climate of fear and uncertainty. They call for a more compassionate and humane approach, one that recognises the complexities of forced migration and upholds the UK's commitment to international law. Section 8. The Home Office perspective. Justifying a hard line. The UK Home Office, however, has defended the controversial changes, arguing that they are necessary to deter illegal entry and preserve the integrity of the immigration system. They maintain that the new guidance clarifies existing rules and ensures that those entering the UK illegally face consequences. While the Home Office emphasises the need to control immigration and protect national borders, critics argue that their justification ignores the realities faced by refugees. They contend that the focus on deterrence fails to address the root causes of forced migration and does little to provide safe and legal routes for those seeking asylum. Section 9. Conclusion. A plea for compassion and a just future. Amir's case, along with the countless others impacted by the UK's new citizenship rules, serves as a stark reminder of the human cost of restrictive immigration policies. These policies, often framed as necessary for national security, can lead to heartbreaking separations of families and the loss of dreams for many who seek a better life. The stories of individuals like Amir highlight the urgent need for a more humane approach. It underscores the urgent need for a more compassionate and just approach, one that balances national interests with the UK's proud tradition of offering refuge to those in need. The UK has long been a beacon of hope for those fleeing persecution and conflict. By embracing policies that reflect empathy and understanding, the nation can continue to uphold its legacy of human rights and dignity. As the UK navigates its post-Brexit identity, it faces a critical choice: to embrace a future defined by compassion and a commitment to human rights, or to retreat behind walls of fear and exclusion. The decisions made today will shape the nation's character for generations to come. Will the UK choose to be a leader in humanitarian efforts, or will it turn its back on those in desperate need? The path chosen will have profound consequences, not just for refugees like Amir, but for the very soul of the nation. A future built on compassion and justice is not only morally right, but also enriches the cultural and social fabric of the country. The choice is clear: to stand for what is right and just, ensuring a brighter, more inclusive future for all.